Poor hip mobility is a root cause of knee problems and low back pain. Today's technique is deceptively challenging and trains both hip mobility and core stability, giving you great bang for your buck. Yo, what's up? It's Coach E here from Precision Movement, and I'm here with another New Movement Monday, where I'm bringing you a new technique, a novel exercise that is going to train your body in a different way to activate different muscles, train different movement and or activation patterns, and just to keep you healthy and mobile for the long term. So if you haven't seen previous videos, a good one to start with is the very first one that we did, which was the reverse lunge to standing dead bug. And you can see that, click the information button if you want to go check that one out. But today, what I've got for you is the front support fire hydrant. And it's an awesome technique to work hip mobility simultaneously with core stability, which is really important because when you're running, your hips are moving, but your core should be pretty stable. Or if you're throwing a kick or kicking a soccer ball, you need hips to move while the core is stable, keeping your lumbar spine neutral and healthy. So if you like this kind of thing, make sure you subscribe if you want. I'm not going to be one of those people who begs for subscribes. Please subscribe. Please, I have 2 kids. And speaking of other videos in this series, the 90-90 side bend is a related technique because it's working the same type of movement pattern and activation pattern with the glute med, glute min, glute max, but in a closed chain fashion. So the front support fire hydrant is an open chain technique where the hip is moving and the leg is moving, whereas the 90-90 side bend is a closed chain technique where the hip is stationary, the lower body is stationary, and the upper body moves around it. So I talk about that, why closed chain is a little more important in that video, so you can go check that out too, and I'll also put the links in the description for you if you want to just hang out here and do this technique. So the fire hydrant, you might have seen this. I used to call this dog peeing, but I guess more politically correct people call it fire hydrant. Typically you're in the 4-point position and it's just a straight horizontal hip extension, okay? Or hip abduction, some people call that. Same idea. I like to call it horizontal hip extension. So to warm up, you can just do this. And the key points are just some dynamic lighter reps. You can alternate, it doesn't really matter. Key points are elbows are locked out, spine is in neutral, and all the movement takes place at the hip. We're not trying to rotate up like this. See how my elbow's bending and my spine is kind of twisting. We don't want that. We want neutral spine, locked out, elbows locked out, and just a pure horizontal hip extension. Okay, so those are the key pointers and they apply to the front support version, which is more challenging. So if you find the front support version too challenging, then start with the 4-point and then go to the front support. But the front support is basically a push-up position. Again, elbows are locked out. Spine is in neutral. I like to protract the scapula, so I'm not sunken in here, but the serratus anterior is activated. And then we'll go 90 degrees of hip flexion. And from here, out. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control it down. Horizontal hip extension, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down. And that's going to fire up the glutes, especially the glute medius. Glute maximus gets in there a little bit, glute minimus gets in there a little bit, but that glute medius gets fired up big time. Okay. The additional thing to pay attention to when you're doing this, as opposed to the 4-point version, is the support leg. So I'm going to do it on the other side here. The support leg, you want to maintain it locked out. So knee is extended, knee straight, hip is in neutral, and you hold that position the whole time. So the benefit of this over the 4-point version is now we're training almost like a stance leg. So if you're throwing that kick, that leg is balanced, it's stable, it's strong, and the hip is moving around it. The core is stable, the support leg is stable, and the other hip is moving. So it's a very good technique for transferring to movements of sport and movements that you'll do, single leg movements that you'll do in the gym, where you want a strong leg, an active leg, strong, stable core, mobile other hip. Okay? So this technique, it's an activation technique, it's a stability technique, so we're doing holds. Hold for 5 seconds, work anywhere from 4 to 6 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets, 2 to 3 days a week. And if you do that for 4 weeks, you're gonna ingrain this activation and movement pattern into your body so that you can then go use it in your sports, in your everyday life, okay? And even if you don't play sports, you don't lift in the gym and you just do some movement stuff like we show on this channel here, then it's good just to keep muscles that you may have not been working active, because if you don't use it, you lose it. All right, so there's another technique for New Movement Monday. Add it to a playlist, or if you want to go ahead. It's cool if you don't, I understand. And watch out for more from me, from Precision Movement, right here on this channel, okay? If you do want to check out another course that has techniques like this that focuses on hip mobility, then go ahead and check out Hip Control. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Peace.